Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever looked at a date from another culture and just had that moment of, wait a second, what year is it really? Well, today we're going to dive right into that. We're going to explore the super interesting world of the Islamic calendar. Okay, so check this out. The year 2000 in the common Western calendar is the exact same moment in time as the year 1421 in the Islamic calendar. I mean, the numbers are off by almost 600 years. How is that even possible? Well, that's the big puzzle we're going to unpack today.
To figure this all out, we've got to get to the bottom of what a year even means to each of these calendars, because, spoiler alert, they're not the same thing at all. And really, it all boils down to one massive difference. It's a choice between following the sun or following the moon.
Yep, that one choice, sun versus moon, changes everything. It creates two totally different rhythms for marking time. Let's dig into what that actually looks like.
So the calendar most of us use, the Gregorian calendar, that's a solar calendar, right? It's all about the Earth going around the sun, which takes about 365 days. But the Islamic calendar, it's completely lunar. It isn't tracking the sun at all. It's following the cycles of the moon, and that means its year is shorter, only about 354 days long.
And that's the magic number right there, 11 days. The Islamic lunar year is about 11 days shorter than the solar year. Now, 11 days might not seem like a huge deal, but think about it. Year after year, decade after decade, those 11 days start to stack up. It's why the two calendars are constantly drifting apart.
Okay, so the years are different lengths. That explains the drift. But it doesn't explain why one is in the 2000s and the other is in the 1400s. See, every calendar needs a year one, a starting line. So what's the starting point for the Islamic calendar?
Well, that starting point is a hugely important event in Islamic history. It's called the Hijra. This was the migration of the Prophet Muhammad from the city of Mecca to Medina, and it happened in the year 622 CE on the Western calendar. That moment, that's year one.
And that's exactly why you'll always see Islamic years marked with AH. It literally stands for after Hijra. So every year count, 1, 2, all the way to 1421, it's all counting forward from that one specific journey. So now we have the two key pieces of the puzzle, a different starting point and a different year length. So how in the world do you convert between them? Well, luckily, it's not some big mystery. There's actually a bit of math for it, and it's pretty straightforward. All right, first up, let's try going from an Islamic year, or AH, to a Western year, CE. Okay, here's the formula. It might look a little intense, but it's not so bad. You take your Islamic year, you multiply it by 32 divided by 33, and that little fraction is what adjusts for that 11-day year difference, and then you just add 622 to line up the starting points. And voila! If you plug in 1421 AH, what do you get? Pretty much exactly 2000 CE. The math works. Okay, so what about going the other way? Let's take a Western year and turn it into an Islamic year. You guessed it, we just do everything in reverse. You take your CE year, say 2000, and first you subtract the 622 to get the starting points aligned. Then you multiply by the opposite fraction, 33 over 32, to account for the year-length difference. And just like that, you land right back at around 1421 AH. See? It works perfectly both ways. So we've got the years down. But what about the months? Well, the basic structure is actually something you'll recognize. Just like the Gregorian calendar, the Islamic year is broken up into 12 months. So you've got Muharram, Safar, Rabi'ul Awal, all the way down to Dhul Hijjah. Now, you probably recognize at least one of these, Ramadan, the 9th month, which is the holy month of fasting. And what's really cool is that each and every one of these months traditionally begins with the actual physical sighting of the new crescent moon. It's a beautiful, constant reminder that this whole system is tied directly to the moon in the sky. Okay, so we've looked at the math, the history, the structure, but why does any of this really matter? What's the big takeaway here? Well, it's because a calendar is never just a calendar. It's not just about counting days. It's a reflection of history, of culture, of what's important to people. When you understand the Islamic calendar, its lunar rhythm, its anchor in the Hijra, you get a much deeper appreciation for the history of over 1 billion people. It's a whole different way of seeing and measuring time, and it's just as real and just as valid as any other. And that kind of leads to one last big thought. Whether a calendar is based on the sun or the moon, whether its year one is tied to a harvest or a historical journey, the way we choose to measure time says a lot about us. It really makes you think, doesn't it?
What does the calendar you use say about what your culture values? Something to chew on. Thanks so much for joining me.